I have to ask you about RFK Jr. and what happened there. You were his campaign manager for a bit, and you resigned in October. Many of us speculated, because many of us were very disappointed by his stance on Israel and Gaza, his relationship with Rabbi Shmuley. Um, I personally can no longer vote for the man. I was a big supporter of RFK Jr., really believed in his message, his platform, but um, that relationship with Shmuley is one that I think he can be bought. It looks like I feel like um, his stance is antithetical to everything else he claims he stands for when it comes to Israel Gaza, which again makes me believe that he could be bought. I don't know. That's just my sense on it. That's just me talking. My own personal feeling on the situation. Just curious what happened there with you in that campaign, and I mean, you are on the opposite side of that issue with him. Did that
Well,
have something to do with it?
uh, I'll provide a context here. A presidential campaign is uh, a ongoing work in progress. To start a campaign, to create a campaign out of nothing, a presidential campaign, is very difficult. And people have differences of opinion as to how that should be done. So, along the way, there were people in the campaign who had some ideas about how the campaign should be run. Unfortunately, they never themselves had any political experience. I understand that. So, there's this element of the dynamic of a campaign itself. Uh,
Mhm.
uh, Let me say this about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with respect to Israel. Israel does not have a more dedicated and stronger supporter under all circumstances than Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He is totally dedicated, and he has been aligned with the policies of the Netanyahu administration, greatly aligned. He was smeared early in the campaign as being anti Semitic, but nothing could be further from the truth. He is a dedicated supporter of Israel. When October 7th happened, there are people who support Israel who were very concerned about the ongoing attack on the Palestinians in Gaza. Um, uh, and there are people who, have been fairly neutral who were also very concerned. I looked at it and I was with Mr. Kennedy at the time, and I was aware of his commitment to Israel. I didn't have a problem with that. But after October 7th, uh, there was a direction taken that was pretty hard line that expressed his feelings. But I have I have a different approach towards addressing conflict, and I expressed my approach. He expressed his. At the same time, I felt that everything that I came to do in the campaign had essentially been accomplished. So I moved on.
It's a very diplomatic answer of you, Dennis. And, but, how disappointing. I mean, oh, man. Okay.
But I'll tell you, do I think he could be bought? No. I think he has a very deep commitment. I can't tell you that I understand the source of it, but
Well, it doesn't I mean, look, the man is a Catholic, an Irish Catholic at that, so is my family. Catholics are not Zionists. That's not part of the Catholic religion ethos, is that the literal gathering of Israel needs to happen in order for Jesus Christ to return to the holy, to return. That's not in the Catholic. There are evangelicals, Mormons, there's plenty of groups that do believe that, but his religion is not one of those. So
well,
I,
well, let me speak to that. I mean, I'm familiar with the belief of evangelicals that there'll be a gathering on the plain of Megiddo, and that people will be um, reunited with Christ.
right.
Uh, and I respect that. Uh, However, when one is making international policy, uh,
Yeah.
the it's very important to deal with the situation as it is, and not to deal with it aspirationally aligning with biblical text,
Right.
except that, am I a Christian? Yeah. Am I a Catholic? Yes. Uh, but I truly believe that that the message of Christ was one of peace, and so uh, I try to be consistent in my beliefs in that regard. Uh, and that there you can go back to the when Moses delivered the Ten Commandments. There is this commandment called "Thou shalt not kill,"
Yeah.
and there is a consistency in all religions about at least the New Testament about in the Christian New Testament um, about respecting uh, um, other other people. Do unto others as you would do unto me. It was said,
Mhm.
So I think I'm a firm believer that while church and state are meant to be separate, our country was never meant to be separate from spiritual values. And one must be aware how spirit animates people. At the same
Mhm.
time, we have to tame the impulse where people will gather the spiritual energy and take it in the direction of war, because there are very few things that are dangerous to the world. And again, my friend, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and he is my friend, has a point of view which I wish that I had a little bit more opportunity to share my views with him. But I think that he is sincere. I don't think he's bought, and uh, and I, of course, have moved on. I have my own campaign, and I'm going to be focusing on that. I will not be involved on behalf of
Right.
any candidate anywhere in the political spectrum, except for my own campaign.
Great.
And
Well,
and
that's I mean, thank you for at least, answering those questions. I mean, it's, maybe he's not bought, then I guess he's just crazy. I don't know.
No, time
Dennis,
out.
hey,
No,
listen, you don't
I
have
don't want to.
these are
I don't
my
want to.
views. You don't have to share my views.
Okay, but I just just so you know, I mean, and I got that. I hear what you're saying. At the same time, um,
You're
I
very diplomatic. I appreciate it about
well, let me
that.
tell you. Let me tell you why. I mean, there needs to be a consistency, and for me anyway,
Yeah.
and I mean, it was Lincoln who, in his second inaugural, you know, was trying to reunite a country that is just, in civil war and trying to sort that out. And he said, "With malice towards none, with charity for all." And I believe that. I try to live that. And
No, you do. You're I can hear that. I can see that you and I like that about you also. I really don't want somebody to go into Congress and to have malice towards others, pick at others, pick fights, make it personal, because that's not effective. And it's not what we need as a country. We need to be able to get back to a place where people could disagree, they could debate, they could be on the floor with one another and having heated debates about maybe the Israel Gaza issue, for example, and not make it personal. So I like that about you. I appreciate about that. That's why you're running for office and I'm not. Dennis, thank you so much for being here. The website is kucinich.com. Running for Congress as an independent, placing country above party, security, freedom, peace, prosperity. People can donate to your campaign by going to kucinich.com. That link is down below. And maybe even volunteer for your campaign. Is that also a possibility for people?
Please, yeah,
Great.
we need many people to help us canvass a very large district.
Great. Well, I really wish the best for you on this. I hope you do win for all of the reasons that you brought up. And I do, you are an anti-war candidate, a true anti-war candidate. You have the track record to prove it. You're not a flip-flopper. And we need more people like you in Congress. We need more people like you in the world, Dennis. You're a nice guy and smart guy. And I hope you win. Thank you
Kim,
for
thanks.
running and
Well,
thanks for being here.
thanks so much for this opportunity to be on your show. Thank you.